Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Science Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Nemoxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north and ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with the eastern player on Team 1, it is the commenter in the chat here. He is talking about the dark maps here. I do really enjoy them as well. It makes things very easy to see from a caster's perspective, or at least easier to see, and hopefully makes it easier for everybody else watching to see. He is Balfron. He is a 1600. He's a UEF, and he's in Barbie Pink. To his west, we have an orange color, Orange Freddy Fresh as an Aeon. He is an 1100. To his north, we have in Batman Gray is Kaze as another 1600 for Team 1. He is a Cybern. And to his west is another Cybern for Team 1 in Amethyst Purple. It is Fong as a 16. I said 1600. Again, he is an Amethyst Purple. To his south, we have the remaining player in Team 1 to introduce. It is Spectre Slave 137. He is a 1700. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game. Overall, he's playing as an Aeon for this match. So for Team 1's side of the map, they have one UEF, two Cyberns, two Aeons, sticking with the OGs, missing out on the Seraphim faction. That is Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's eastern player as well, and going westward, we have in Ruby Red, the Cybern player of Krazi. He is not Kazi, but Krazi. There's an R there. He is a 1500. To his west in Chevy Crimson is the Seraphim player of Seal Force. He is a 1400. To his southwest is the bus color and faction combination in all of Supreme Commanderdom. It is Hyper 2001. He is a UEF. He is a 1400. He is flanked here to the west by Rekather. He is a Seraphim as a 1600 in lightish red pink. And rounding out for Team 1's front line, it is Sanoman. He is a 1600. He is in Snow White as a Cybern, and I will make a point that he is tied with Rekather for the highest rated player on his team. So for Team 2's side of the map, they have no Aeons, but they do have two Seraphim, two Cybern, and one UEF. So no Seraphim for Team 1, no Aeon for Team 2. And for these 10 players on the map, let's take a look how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at, oh my goodness, it's 139,000 mass in reclaim, which makes that comment by Battlefront make a lot of sense. Look at that. So much reclaim. Yes, it is a lot, and it is everywhere, which is what I love to see. There's kind of a nice devoid of numbers right here around roughly this central point of Team 1 and Team 2, but it is all decked out everywhere. There's a tiny little pond with nothing in it, but hey, it's a tiny little pond in the middle of the map. Nothing too crazy about it. This map also has a decent amount of mexes to grab as well. Talking about Team 1's side specifically, it's a Trimex position in the middle with two quad mexes on the western side and two quad mexes on the eastern side, with actually a huge chunk of the mexes on the map in the middle. And it's going to be a slaughter fest here. We're talking about maybe Team 2 grabbing this one, Team 1 grabbing this one, and these four are going to be kind of no man's land and then everything in between sort of thing. Maybe there'll be a split right here, but I don't think that'll last very much longer. It's Team 1 right now. T2, T3 definitely is going to close that gap considerably. We have a couple of bombers out from Team 2 harassing a couple of units outbound from Team 1's Fong. To the east, we have some drops from Balfron, and he's moving in to try to grab some reclaim really early and very far forward. Of course, he's not really taking it from his teammate of Seal Force, but Seal Force is right there, to be fair. Bomber targeting something. I don't know what it's targeting. Sorry, not teammate. That is his opponent of Seal Force. Apologies. Don't know why I thought he was the teammate. It's because Rekather is lightish red pink, and Balfron is Barbie pink, so the red, it's always the pinks. It's always the pink ones that confuse me. I don't know why it is, but it just is, so apologies for that. That would make way more sense why he's doing what he was doing. But I do appreciate that Team 2's red players of both Krazi and Seal Force are on the same team, and the Imperial Grey player of Seal Force and the other Grey player, Batman Gray of Kazi, are on the same team, so it makes things a little bit easier to say, well, Team 1 has the grays, Team 2 has the reds, and going from there sort of thing. It's sometimes frustrating when you have pink paired up against pink, so it's like you looking at the same, it's like the same unit. And it's worse when they're the same faction. Good luck trying to keep track of everybody with that regard. We do have in the middle here Team 2's Sanoman leading by example, dealing with all of these T1 Aurora and other Furfurs trying to mooch on his territory over here. We do have 3 players for Team 1 on the western side, 1 over here in the middle, and then 1 over here in the east. Very similar for Team 2, except 1 player is missing, and that is Hyper 2001 going for some T1 storages and upgrading to T2 mexes. He's going to probably be the Eco/Air player most likely for Team 2, considering he's going for T2 Air as we speak. That makes a lot of sense. But the forward momentum for Team 1 is kicking into overdrive. Kazi is over here just with himself, not any units or any engineers or anything, but he's supporting Spectre Slave, who has sensor package online very early, and is providing a lot of intelligence for himself and his entire team, which I think is one of the best things to do, is just get a comm somewhere near the front lines with a huge advantage like that, so you don't really have to constantly bring in air scouts and just constantly be aware of what your opponent is doing. Again, T1 radar is nice to have, but having constant vision is way better than that, because you can actually see things rather than just get little icons appearing on the map on a fog of war kind of style thing. Anyway, in the east, gun range has been started here for Freshie. CO4 getting battered by a couple of Aurora. Again, they are tinfoil, so a couple of shots deal with them very quickly, but once he gets the range on board, he will be able to fight CO4 is, well, at range, and if he goes for advanced range, it's even worse in that trade there. Gun speed range has been started for Fong. And Kazi, I thought he started a T2 upgrade. He did, then he canceled it and he went for gun. Looks like Darth Sand is actually an observer in this game. We do see that Team 2's eastern side is starting to push heavily in. Team 1's Battlefront sitting in his forward manufacturing facilities and trying to intercept the oncoming pressure from Kazi. And it's huge open area here for both teams, but Team 2 is slowly starting to claim all of that eastern side. Gun speed and range is almost done as well for Fong and for Kazi. So we have Kazi for Team 2 and Kazi for Team 1. I don't hope for anybody's deaths, but if anybody were to magically disappear in this game, the players who have similar names, it makes it easier for me as a caster. So again, not wishing death or anything else on anybody, but just food for thought. I'll leave it at that. Food for thought. In the East, CO4 here going for his gun speed and range upgrade, and Wrecker going for his gun speed and range upgrade. Freshie does have his gun speed / range on board, just because they are 2 separate upgrades. But that one for CO4 should finish in a decent amount of time. Maybe Freddy Fresh will get a couple of shots on that comm, but again, it's already close to 50%, so I'll probably just ride it out till he finishes it. Huge column of Team 1 units for Freddy Fresh, pushing in to isolate any sort of reinforcements from the eastern edge at least. There are a couple trying to make their way to assist their teammate of Seal Force. Stealth has been started for Kazi. Regenor started for Rekith. They're very interestingly not going for nanosecond, but going for regen. Again, Team 1 units, it's nice to have. It's not as useful in my opinion, but it is nice to have. Regen is regen, so Freddy Fresh and Seal Force. It is the first come action of the game. Both of them have some decent upgrades on board. Lots of Team 1 units and a couple of T2 also inbound for Team 2 is actually both of those red players. Freddy Fresh taking a lot of hits. Will he stay out of range? No, there are a couple of Aurora trying to body block him, but Seal Force is just sidestepping them quite nicely. Bomber trying to help, does not get close, but Seal Force will go down, drops really close to 0 hit points, and there he goes. Team 1 loses the first player of the game at 11.5 minutes, dropping this game to a 5v4 in favor of Team 2. Couple of Not the Fighter Bombers inbound for Team 1's Fong, and he gets killed off by Rekather. Good thing I caught that at the last second there, so Team 2 technically scores a double kill, just not by the same player, and it drops to a 5v3 in favor of Team 2. And again, as I say in most games, with especially full share or even partial share, giving air quotes, all of that mass, all those units, all that infrastructure going to another player can be deadly, especially this early on. Late game, it's not as bad because usually everybody is built up and it's kind of just APM taxing. This early, Spectral Slave sitting at 300 mass income, producing half of the mass of his team is very concerning. We even see some T3 units outbound from Kazi in the gunship department. So again, just something to watch out for as Spectral Slave's eco scales exponentially. And he also has an air facility as well. T3, in fact, so there are 2 T3 air players for Team 1. Team 2 has 1, maybe a second one. But as of right now, it's just the 1. We do see that Spectral Slave has fallen back. Definitely a smart play. I mean, 2 players were killed, one after the other. He doesn't want to be number 3. And we do see Kazi in the middle of all of these Team 1 units. A couple of Asylums in the mix to just help shield a couple of them. But with some Tickle Cannons coming online, Sandman going for stealth. He actually cancels his Nano Repair upgrade. He doesn't get bombarded by Team 1 T1 Artillery. I don't think he needed to cancel it, but just in case kind of thing. So definitely don't mind that. And in the east, it does look like Seal Force charged forward and got killed off by Balfron, assisted by some gunships from Kazi. So getting a nice little counter kill here for Team 1 drops this game to a 4v3. We do see those Ilshis making their way into Balfron's now secondary base, gifted over by Spectre Slave. And those units transferred over, of course, to Sanderman. Looks like he transfers all of those over to Krazi. So Krazi has the entire eastern side. Balfron has the entire eastern side. That's going to be a 1v1 game there, with the remaining commanders fighting it out in the west and, of course, in the air. We'll look at the slow erosion of those Team 1 units here for Spectre Slave. His APM is probably taxed to the max and then some. And Sanderman is just slowly whittling them away. We even see Rekather moving in from the western edge to more of the middle here to try to help thin the horde out, as it would be Team 1's Kazi, not Krazi, but Kazi, moving back to his main base, or at least a main base of a teammate, just to feel a little bit more protected. Gunships are inbound, and they are going for blood. Sanderman is the target. Those gunships are a little bit weakened, though, so nothing too crazy, but it does look like the gunships might not even go for the target anyways. There are some ASFs to protect said gunships, but there's some flak nearby. Both of these comms go west. I feel like going east would have been a little bit better. I mean, body blocking and tight environments, not really great, but the AA was already there. ASF fight over the top. Of course, the gunships, one of them gets out of range. The other one, I think, actually got killed off. Team 1 wins that air fight. Of course, a little bit over AA, but nothing too crazy. So to Team 1, about a squadron or so of ASFs more than Team 2, but again, nothing too crazy. This is only 15 minutes, so there's a lot of time for Team 2 to get some ASF count back up and running. There's even some ASFs online for Team 1 Spectre Slave as well, so he's helping out in the air department as well. I mean, he could be going for bombers or even more gunships, but he's being more of a just mainline air player, not necessarily a utility/sniper air player that we see in some games. It depends really. With all of that APM and being soaked up, I do understand why he's just being more of a, I'm going to just build ASF and just build the horde kind of thing versus go after mechs assassinations and whatnot. But Team 1 senses that there's a weakened for western edge, decides to send everything in the kitchen sink and then some to the western edge of the map. Rastan for Hyper 2001 going for T2. So he's already at that stage, getting his air grid nice and expanded upon. Still T2 air here for Rekather. He may transition to T3, but again, he's busier on the front line, so I don't blame him. Getting overcharges constantly, almost up to 3-star veterancy. Going to be able to, again, scale that HP very, very annoyingly sometimes, with Seraphim commanders getting up to 50,000 hit points, essentially experimental on their own right, especially with the 200+ regen that they can get. It's absolutely insane, those commanders. Just tanky. But in the west, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mechs is under threat. There's a couple of bricks moving in to stop the incoming forces, but a couple of them did get by. A couple of asylums, a couple of Team 1 labs, as well as, actually that's just all. It's just labs and asylums. So nothing actually super damaging, but the most annoying thing probably is just going to be taking out those mass storages. Again, they don't amount to a whole lot, but when you get from 6 mass a second to 9 mass a second, you do that 3, 4, 5 times, it does add up after a while. There's a couple of bombers inbound. Team 1 engineers reclaiming asylums. Don't see that every day, that's for sure. A couple of Team 1 PD do take out the rest of those labs. Couple of mass storages were taken out. And I do appreciate that Santa Man was coming in with a brick to assist. Love that assistance there. But Team 2's Wrecker got it handled. More drops landed here, says Fong. So Team... What? More drops landed here. Oh, it looks like Team 1's Western player of now... Or Spectre Slave, but he also had Fong helping out. Looks like there were some drops inbound from probably Santa Man. And CO4 still from beyond the grave helping out, saying, hey, that's a good brick drop. And I will admit that is a good brick drop. Again, it's upgrading to ringed T2 mexes, so it's going for, again, 6 to 9. That's an increase of 12 mass a second. Again, that mass does make a difference. That's 2 regular T2 mexes, so it adds up. Every little bit of mass counts. Doesn't matter if it's reclaimed, doesn't matter if it's generated, doesn't matter if it's gifted. Every little bit reclaim or mass always matters. You do see Sandalman starting to pull back as well. Again, it's just being a little bit more dangerous on the front lines, approaching the 20-minute mark. Snipes have already occurred, and they're getting worse and worse, of course, by the day, just because more T3 units, more bombers, more gunships, more ASF, more the everything. Especially going for T4 experimentals definitely is a thing to watch out for, especially for Battlefront. He has dual base, and UEF, they don't have any direct fire land experimentals, but their teammates can always give over some tech. Granted, given versus handed due to a death is definitely a different kind of story there. But a couple of gunships inbound to the east to deal with those bricks. Instead of a drop, they're a run-by, and there's a couple of Titans assisting this. It looks like a brick will take out maybe a couple of T2 mexes. I don't think they'll get all of them, because 2 of the bricks are already gone. Maybe he'll get 1 more, but there's a mass storage blocking. A couple of Team 1 Scorchers inbound. No, but again, he did take out a T2 mech, so 6 mass a second. It adds up after 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Look at this. Krasi sending his T2 forces in. Lots of rhinos. I don't see any Ilshis. Oh, he scratched that there. The Ilshis over here. Sending him directly for that Colossus. Colossus about to reach the 75% mark. A couple of T3 engineers. A lot of T1s. There's not really a lot of land support nearby. Here come the gunships over from the east. But I think they might be a little bit too late to the party. There's no AA coverage. That's the one thing I will comment about. Oh, well, okay. There's 1, 2 bangers. Against T3 gunships isn't really going to do a whole lot. T1 PD spammed up immediately to try to counter this, and they will halt the construction of the Colossus. I don't know if they'll stop it entirely, but a couple of minutes, or even a minute at all, better than nothing in terms of stopping the construction of a Colossus. In the east, Crab skipping the monkey face for Krasi. He's not building a Seraphim experimental. Team 2 on the western side, nothing as of yet. Oh, there is a chicken over here. So experimentals on either side for Team 2. Just huge amounts of land units over here. And a Colossus is now done and on the front lines for Spectre Slave before 20 minutes. Would have been probably close to 2 before 20 minutes had Team 2 not tried to stop that construction. Couple of Ilshis actually break off to the east, ignoring the Colossus and going after more long-term targets, being those mexes. There is a Percy or 2 in the mix, and Battlefront's calm here, so that isn't going to amount to a whole lot of damage. We do see the armies continuing to push in and go through this little narrow neck of environment. There's a couple of zappers. Well, they're going to get zapped out of existence here shortly. Bricks over here in the west forming a nice little wall, as they, of course, are designed to do because they're bricks. And nano repair almost done for wreck if they're going for advanced regen or first. Again, usually I see advanced nano and then advanced regen, but I mean, if he's going to build both, it doesn't really matter which one he builds first, but I still think nano would be better first anyway. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. Because regenning your own health and surviving that versus regenning everybody else's health, I'm not trying to be selfish, but it's just kind of usually the trend line. Because if you're being attacked, you're going to want more hit points and more regen on your comp first, and then regenning all the units nearby. Because what if you have no units nearby? Then that regen does nothing. Hey, look, advanced nano repair has been started. Look at that. in the east. ASFs are not quick enough to stop the Percy drops from Balfron, so deploying what Team 2 commented about. Deploying a couple of T3 units. And look at this push here from SpectreSlave. He's ignoring the entire western side and going straight down the middle. Now, the only unfortunate thing, though, is Team 2 is well, A, producing a nuke outbound from Hyper 2001. And there is a crab online for Krazi. So it's not completely one-sided in the land engagement. Granted, there's no support on land besides a couple of other units. But the ASFs, they're severely mounting for Team 1. And I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Kazi just get all of the ASFs so he can micro them. But it is always nice to have your own Air Force, but not have a huge percentage of the Air Force be, essentially not have it like be 50-50. Kind of have it be more 70-30, I think would be the more reasonable amount. But it's just harder to micro turns and that sort of things with 2 players, 3 players. This makes life harder. Crab is going to get in range of the Colossus. Colossus going after the PD defenses in the east. Granted, it's nothing too worrisome. There are some T1 bombers. That's not really worrisome. The ASFs might actually reach the bombers before they drop their payloads. Some of them will not be able to drop their payloads, but some of them... no. Well, one dropped 1 bomb. Not really great for those bombers, but it does look like the bricks in the east dealt with the Percys in the east. But there is, again, another army stacking up for Balfron, so that army can't move all the way to the west without just inviting Team 1 through their front door on the eastern side. Your opponent does air. You got a 2, says Steel Force. I mean, with 2 air players, eventually Team 1 will just bombard Team 2 with the everything. So that is a smart thing to just get some other air investments in. Nothing too crazy, but T3 has been started here for not Balfron. So I see I could switch the pink players again. That is Rekather, but he is going for a nuke. And he just built that one. There's a second nuke, of course, here for Team 2. It's a Stone Anger. Definitely aptly named there. I feel Stone Anger and Plan B are the 2 best named nukes or sub-nukes in the game. Just because it's Plan B. If you don't have your nuke on the land, you have your nuke in the water. And then Stone Age, well, you kick everybody back to the Stone Age. That's kind of what it does. Down the middle here, Team 2, Sanoman pushing in. There's no, well, I was going to say there's no Colossus. Oh, there isn't, but it's under construction once again. So Team 2 trying to push in. Maybe stop the construction if they know about it. They don't, so they'll probably be very overjoyous over that. But the Colossus already in the green. It could just be spam builds. There are some Harbingers trying to just body block going back and forth here. And when it's going to be close, more Harbingers in from the west. And some gunships in from the east. I don't think they're going to stop. They're actually attacking the Colossus. So even if the Colossus gets done, it's going to be lower on hit points. I don't think that's worth it. Target the engineers. That way it can't be built, but it's built anyways. And that's unfortunate. 1 Titan go here. 1 Titan go here. It says Fong. Fong offering some assistance from beyond the grave. Love to see that. Everybody trying to do their part to win this game, regardless if they're actually alive or not. Crab and Colossus have a nice little almost hug session, but I think that Crab and that Colossus are going to see other people at this point. Colossus gets the better end of the deal, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a better deal. The mass will reside on Team 2 side of the map. So at the end of the day, unless Team 1 can claim this section of the map, I don't really think going to be the best play. I mean, a lot of stuff is going to go down. A couple of T2 mexes, some TMD, all that sorts of thing. But unless, like I said, Team 1 can claim this section of the map, the mass dump is definitely going to be more beneficial than all the units and stuff that they lost. Nuke, of course, has been now fully constructed. Nuke is almost loaded, and it's going to nuke immediately, going directly for the comm of SpectreSlave and a little bit of his air grid. There is no SMD. Oh, scratch that. There is an SMD, but it was just built. So unfortunately, SpectreSlave, that nuke is going to land. There's another SMD over here. That one's built a little bit sooner, and that one's built a little bit sooner. And that has been built a little bit sooner. They've all been built a little bit sooner than the one that was built over here. So that's the moral of the story. You got to build SMDs maybe a little early. But I think Team 1 knows about at least one of the... What is this? And Nuke. So they know about one of the nukes. They don't know about the other one. They highly doubt it's a game ender this early. So it's probably something else. Maybe they just think it's a... Well, it's a square, so it's going to be a structure, so they probably think it's a nuke. Nuke actually changes targets. Doesn't go for Spectre Slave. Goes for Balfron. The SMD is not going to be loaded in time. And if Balfron doesn't move, that's going to be a kill here for Team 2. So you might want to make them half fight from behind here in case you delay Mega. There is another Mega online here for Team 2, and that's a bit of reclaim, like I said, will go to Team 2. It does look like Fong's like, just take the fight, or at least delay. You might want to reclaim half fight. Yeah, looks like, hey, just start reclaiming because you might not keep it. I'm trying to be a little bit more aware of chat, so that's why I'm constantly going over there. But sometimes I forget that it exists. But Battlefront is going to just get sniped by a nuke way too late. Kaboom! There he goes. All of his core mats gone. T3 air facility. Nice to still have. But the pink player from Team 2 kills the pink player of Team 1. Drops this game to a 2-1 in favor of Team 2. It's 4 players left for Team 2. 2 players for Team 1. 2 Colossi moving into the west. Monkey trying to chase them down. There's nothing else online for Team 2. The crab is in the yellow. It's pretty close to the red, but I don't think it's going to finish in time. In the east, the air fight occurs over here, and the land units that were going after the crab actually stopped because they're transferred over to Kazi. An air fight, not great here for Hyper 2001. Wrong direction. Ooh, Monkey does go down. Does it stall enough for the Colossus? No, for the Colossus, so that the crab can finish. I think that made sense. It's going to be close. 9,000 hit points. 90,000 hit points in climbing. There are some T3 shields moving in to protect. There's already a T2 shield here. Already taking a hit for some reason. And some T3 AA being knocked out as well. Percy printer. Brrr, says Fong. Yep, that's a Percy printer if I've ever seen one. Just pump those T3 units out. And the reclaim already being scooped up by Krazi. Colossus does not stop the construction of the crab. The crab was just given just enough time. The question is, will it survive long enough to kill off both of them? I don't know. Half hit points, pretty much already gone. Lots of T3 support, lots of Team 1 artillery as well mixed in. Team 1 PD over here. Kind of hard to target a unit that's underneath the shield, but they're going to deal with it. Crab is down, so 1 Colossus does survive. Nothing else can stop this push from Team 1, so there's going to be lots and lots of damage. We do see Rekather over here, 45,000 hit points, 258 hit points a second regen. He is a beast in terms of the Seraphim comms. And Strat Bombers, ooh, that's a lot of Strat Bombers inbound from Kazi. I guess I know what they're going for. It's not that hard to figure it out. The nuke is the target. The nuke is about to load. I'm going to slow this down to see if the nuke actually gets taken out. Bomb drops, impacts on the shield. There's more inbound. And unless that nuke launches immediately, I think the nuke is DED. Bombs will get through. Oh, the shield. Oh, no. The nuke. The nuke survives. One more bomb will do it. Oh, does Team 2... Sorry, does Team 1... Bomb drops. Does it drop soon enough? Oh, the little icon. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh. Oh, that's not great. That inertia. It hurts. Oof. But Team 1 takes out Team 2's second nuke. It was about to fire. Hyper 2001 is probably really annoyed about that. I would be. In the west, though, that second nuke launcher is online. 70,000 mass kill with that one nuke. Colossus, does it retreat? Where did it go? Oh, no, that's a chicken. Where did that Colossus go? Did it just retreat? Oh, it looks like it's up here. Yeah, it just retreated to group up with the crab. T4 chicken units are online here for Rector. He has one over here and he has one over here. He's keeping them in storage, I guess. Team 2, of course, has secured the reclaim, scooped it all up, and they've made another crab out of it. And another one here shortly. So it is about all of the crab spam here for Krazi. He really likes his crab legs, really likes his imitation crab. Any crab he likes it. He just wants to have as much crab as possible. Lobster, I think, is a little bit better in my opinion, but Crab's not bad. Crab's pretty good. Tactical missile started here for Hyper 2001. So he's going for Billy Nuke. Yep, there it is. I was going to say, if you can't have a stationary nuke, you might as well have a mobile one. And the UAF comms, they're crazy. They're crazy for putting a nuke on their back when they already have an explosive device mounted in their comm, but whatever. Just add a nuke on top of a nuke, I guess. ASF fight looks like Team 2's Karazi gets into the Air Force as well, but Team 1 has more numbers, and that's only going to net Team 1 the air victory there. Probably air dominance, maybe? It's 72. Yeah, that's air dominance, above 50 ASF count here for Team 1. Of course, Rekather's holding out down there. 3-star veterancy still, but he does have, like I said, advanced regen and nano. No, advanced nano and advanced regen aura. There we go. If I can actually speak correctly. You know, it's kind of hard sometimes. There is the Billy Nuke. It's done, and it's going to load. And it's unfortunate because the nuke was about to fire, I think, too. It was about to load and fire, but just that one more bomber is just enough. Oof. That's rough. And that's why, of course, it's important that you do layered defenses. Because, yeah, you can have some AA coverage around your nuke, but if that bomber gets enough speed and drops a bomb like we saw so very early, in fact, and that inertia just carries it in, it doesn't even matter. The bomber could be dead by the time the bomb actually lands. So, it's kind of... It's definitely frustrating, I can imagine, for Aptitude, but I haven't even gone over the game overall so far. I usually did it like 20, 25 minutes, but it's 32. Nuke is going to be launching. Let's try to do this shortly. Team 2, 1.9k mass income. Team 1, 1.7. They've lost 3 players. Team 1, Team 2 has lost 1. It's a 4v2 in favor of Team 2. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And of course, shout out to everybody who sent me a super thanks and whatnot the past couple days. I never asked for them, but I really, really appreciate them when they are sent to me. So thank you so very much. Shout out to each and every single one of you who have done it recently, and of course who have ever done it in the past, whether it be through YouTube or through PayPal. And here comes the nuke. It's going to land. Boom. I mean, it's not bad. It takes on a lot of the T3 production facilities, but it was looking for all the Perseus. That's what it was really going after. That crab, that one's probably dead. That one should... Oh, that one might die, especially with the Whaler support, but that one's going to be fine. Looks like the focus is actually on the more damaged crab. Definitely a smart play there. Take out the weaker units first and take out the stronger ones next. And in this case, take out the ones that actually have hit points. But Kazi is defeated by Hyper 2001. Is it a... Wait, what was it? Was it his... It wasn't his comm. That's comm's not out in range. No, his comm's not in range. So what did he die by? Oh, looks like maybe Corsair fire. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's a strap bomber right there. No, you died by strap bombers. Yep, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's a lot of them. That's a lot of strap bombers over there. So Team 1 loses another player. It drops to 1 player left. It is Spectre Slave versus the world at 33 minutes and 33 seconds. Billy Nuke outbound to the west. There he goes. Takes out a chunk of units there. Great snipe there by Team 2's Hyper 2001. Gets some revenge for his nuke that was killed off by those bombers. By actually Kazi, I think it was, who launched those bombers at him. In the west, Corsairs, looks like they tried to go after something over here, but didn't really get anywhere. I mean, it looks like they got a mechs and some other mass storages over here, but that's it. Definitely was going to be Rekather. He has a lot of hit points on board. Colossus, Crab, so there's 2 crabs, 2 colossi. And the conga line is forming. Lots of Team 1 spam. Another Colossus inbound. Lots of mass being donated over to Rekather from Sounderman. What are you building, Rekather? T3 artillery. That's a good idea. I like that idea. I like other things too, but that's a good idea. Don't like it where it's placed. That's my 2 cents on that fact, but at least it's being built. That's something. Billy Nuke outbound. That's going to be a great one. If that Colossus moves a little bit closer, it'd be better. Chicken's going down. Rekather probably should not engage. There goes Billy Nuke. Strikes right at the feet of that Colossus. That Ion Storm activates. That Ion Storm's about to. That Ion Storm is activating. 3 dead chickens. And those experimentals are shifting eastward to avoid those clumps of rogue ions. The Ion Storm does proc, and it will hit a little bit of the crab, but nothing too damaging. T1 bombers overhead just to slowly pick away at these units. We do see a lot of engineers, of course, scooping up reclaim as they go. Love to see that. And Hyper 2001 is noping out of that situation. ACU being pinged by Freddy. Yep, that's definitely a target for Team 1, especially because he's a UEF. Billy Nuke. Team 1 doesn't have a UEF anymore, so if they can't have it, no one can. Team 1 bombers coming in from multiple angles here from Team 2. Just spam whatever they can, essentially. Chicken started over here for Krazi. And now Kazi is dead. So I can just say Krazi without having to worry about if I pronounce his name 100% exactly or not. And confusing myself and anybody else watching. Sandman running around. That's not great. He has been spotted. Oh, I was going to say he wasn't dying there for a second, but there he goes. Team 2 loses another player. It's a 3v1. Billy Nuke ACU says Fong. Yep. Hyper 2001 is fleeing. But those Colossi are going for the nuke and the air grid and the everything else. 2 satellites as well. Didn't even notice those were online. And those 2 Colossi definitely should be the focus. One gets veterancy, and I think the other one got veterancy right after that. You need to target these ones first. They are the weaker of the 3. That air grid is somewhat cascadable. It's not too bad, but Bugs inbound from Team 1. Spectral Slave as well. He has another one inbound. He has a crab, a 2. Lots of mass being thrown. The nuke isn't loaded. You gotta fire that thing immediately. You're firing it. That's good. Where is it going? It's going back here. The SMD does exist. It is loaded. That's probably unfortunate. Probably could have launched it as a defense-based nuke, but nope. Colossi just going to just steamroll everything. There's a chicken inbound from the west to assist, but it's a little bit too late on that front. Ravagers being spammed up over here. Team 1 spam now making their way, doing tons of damage to SMDs, to mass fabs, to everything over here for Team 2's Western players. This entire base here for Recruiter is gone. He's knocked out for a while. And Hyper 2001, the crab's turning around. That's not great. But the Ravagers are focusing them instead of the Colossus that's right in front of their faces. So maybe both of the satellites go down. So a nuke, an artillery piece, and 2 satellites get knocked out by this huge push from Team 1. It looks like Hyper 2001 is going for Teleporter. There's even some units down the middle from Spectre Slave. The Soul Ripper counters the Crab from Team 1. It looks like both of the Crabs got taken, so both the Soul Rippers got taken out. So that's a chunk of mass there. So 2 Colossi there, 2 Crabs there. Of course, the wreck from the artillery, the nuke is gone, unfortunately. 2 Crabs here. There's a lot of reclaim. Team 2 and Team 1, how much reclaim do you have to scoop up? Currently sitting at 500,000 mass. And at the same time, the attack happens in the south. An attack happens in the east. Unfortunately, it's stopped severely by a couple of gunships and a Colossus that's just hanging out, waiting to be shot at. Another Crab's inbound. I do love the attempt from Krazi, but it's just not enough. This base hasn't really been rebuilt any time lately, so it's kind of just null and void there. And that Colossus is just going to hang out and just kind of have a fun time. More and more gunships, more and more gunships. Now we have Restorers in the mix. Oh, please build UEF gunships. You would have the Whalers, you would have the Restorers, and you would have the Broadswords. All 3 on... Oh, no, there are Broadswords. Hey, hey, hey! All 3 types of gunships in one gunship fleet. Armada? Fleet. Air Force, words are hard. We still have some Harbingers running around. Ooh, that's not great. Friendly fire from his own unit. Oh, there's some Fusions that are going to go up and not have a good time. Ooh. Ouchie, 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 ouchie. That's what I have to say to that. That's not great. Team 2. There's a hole here, a big hole here, an even bigger hole here. And the incomes, at the end of all of that, Team 2 still leading the incomes. 1.5K versus 1.3. Numbers have severely dwindled since that 1.9 versus 1.7 thing I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. But the thing that I will point out is Go Game Ender says Balfour on 77,000 mass in storage. Well, he is spending it pretty quick, to be fair. I mean, he can do that. Team 2 has the lion's share of the mass for sure. I mean, there's a couple of crabs up there, to be fair, but we're talking about, let's say that 10,000 right there is theirs. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. So that's 380,000 mass. That's a game ender right there, and almost some. I think that would pay for the game ender, pigeons if they're needed, SMDs, whatever you can name besides just another game ender, you can pay for it with that amount of mass. SACUs, they're actually combat and preset ones going for some AA in the middle. That's annoying for Team 1 to deal with. And nothing too crazy, but it's annoying. Crabs. Not crabs. I want to say crabs for Colossus for some reason. I don't know. They both start with C's. C's get degrees. In the east, Scathis. It's almost half done. Not a fan, of course, as stated in, I think, every video that it pops up. Not a fan of the Scathis. I like that it moves. That's about it. But I do think if it's used more on armies and versus bases, because most of the time, especially 50 minutes, an hour and a half games, Scathai used on shielded bases, unless there's 4, 5, 6 of them, maybe not 6 of them, maybe 3 of them, different story, but one is not going to break through heavily fortified shielding and whatnot, especially with assisting engineers. Going for land armies, going for fleets in terms of navy, can't target air units unless they're sitting on the ground. That is definitely worth the Scathis, but going after bases is not really the Scathis. It's not really where it shines. Either it's really, really early and you can get a lot of base destruction because there's no shielding, or land armies or navies. So that's my little 2 cents on that. We have some bugs in the air once again. Again, the bug is it's not a bad experimental. It's not my favorite. It's like the Scathis. It has its uses, but it's definitely not my favorite. I prefer the donut and the Awasa bomber over both of the over the bug. And the bugs are being shot at by some ASF, and that bug is already depleted to half its hit points by just a squadron or so of ASFs. And I do like that from Spectre's side. He didn't send all of them in. He just sent enough to do a decent chunk of damage and went, that's fine. Hyper 2001 teleporter is done. And what is he doing? Does he have the Billy Nuke? He does have the Billy Nuke on board. He has almost 5-star veterancy. He's missing probably 1 mass kill or something. That's very annoying, I will admit. Give to Rekethur says Seal Force. Oh, the chicken. Team 2 is sending a couple of, Team 2 was sending a couple of chickens down the middle, but that got stopped very quickly by the Colossi spam that is online for Team 1. This one's almost done, this one's almost done, and there's more on the way, of course. And is there anything big ticket item? Bug started here once again. Monkey started over here. Don't see any big ticket items. He could build a Paragon. He could build a Scathis. He could build a Mavor. I don't know if he has that many UEF engineers left. Maybe he doesn't. Or maybe not. So maybe just Scathis or Paragon. We have some gunships overhead going after the SACUs. They don't have that ridiculous regen nonsense, so they can actually be taken out quickly enough, but the gunships get turned away by the AA nearby. Bugs get annihilated by those ASFs and just putting more mass onto that tiny little spot of chickens. And there's another dead chicken over there. Team 2 and Team 1 just throwing mass at their opponents at this point. The engineers still reclaiming down here. Looks like artillery will be restarted here shortly. And Hyper 2001, you are teleporting in. You're going to the pond. Now, the pond should give him enough range to go after the comm. The comm... Team D, Team D, Team D, Team D. Or Loyalists. I don't see either. It looks like the teleport is successful. He's going to teleport right... Wait, no. Wait, where's he going? Hold on. Stop juking me. There we go. You're going to teleport right here. It's going to still hit shielding. I don't know if that's the best play, because if he billies, it's going to hit shielding. I just know it is. There's no way that it doesn't. Yeah, that's still, yeah. There's so many shields overlapping. The Comet really is not gonna do a whole lot. There goes the Billy Nuke. Laser is activated on the monkey. Doesn't even get to fire the Billy Nuke. That's unfortunate. Hyper 2001 defeated by Spectral Slave's dual Monkey Lord protectors, and is now a 2v1. Still in favor of Team 2, but oof, that was painful to watch. Yeah, and then Kazi's like TMD. He doesn't need TMD. He has monkeys. Billy didn't fire. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. And even if it did, it would have impacted the shields. Maybe it would have killed a couple of P-gens. But the comm has heavy shield on board, so it would have been fine. He would have been fine. The action has pretty much died down, except for this little corridor of the Valley of Death. There's just dead. Essentially, you take this point to this, and there's been so much death. And there's probably still a huge chunk of reclaim to grab. Go for a strap snipe as well, says Hyper. I mean, that could work. There is just a lot of AA. There's 14 over there. So that kind of blocks that corridor. You should have some down the middle here, which actually I don't see three bugs online, more on the way. I actually don't see that much AA coverage. Those are shields. That's surprising enough. There's not a lot of AA. He has ASF. That's his AA, I guess. But I think Team 1 and Team 2 had some sort of air fight at some point, because I don't see a lot of ASS for Spectral Slave. Oh, they're sitting over here. That's where they went. ACU says Freddy Fresh. Yep, Freddy Fresh is correct. There is a comm here. Again, it is a tanky comm. Now he's at 49,000 hit points, making his way to 5-star veterancy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Colossi moving into engage the one lonely chicken over here to the east. And bugs are inbound. This is going to be a slaughter fest for these chickens. And the Colossi don't even care. Oh, that's just not great. Walk through the Valley of the Shadow of Death kind of thing. Ooh, yeah, not great here for Team 2's land everything. The bugs are abounding. They are taking a lot of damage from some cougars. No, those are actual myrmidons. But there's some lightning tanks in the mix. ASF. Are you going to take that fight? Actually, that would be a good engage. It does get a... Oh, nope. Okay, well, nothing really happens over there. And all of the AA moves north. And those 5 Colossi move east. How is the Scathus doing, by the way? It's moving. It's done. It's moving. And shields are being built immediately. Team 1, do you know about it? No, you don't know anything about it. You know that something was there at some point, but don't really have an updated view on it. Artillery, of course, is now done as well. So Team 2 has T3 and T4 artillery. And where would it go? Well, it's probably going to go to the... No, it's going to go for the air grid. That's not even shielded. Ooh, that's not great. Not even just a couple of shields to protect any sort of air headquarters or something. Nope, that's not great. But again, 1, 2, 3, 4 bugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Colossi, 2 chickens, and a partridge and a pear tree. Ooh, and see, this is where the Scathus shines. Getting... Oh! That's gonna hurt. Oof. That is a gone air grid for Team 1. And the artillery landing on Spectral Slave's position. He's just pumping out those bugs, man. ASF's moving in. AA needs to be built immediately, because those bugs, once they find that Scathus, it's a dead experimental. ASF's, of course, going for said bugs. Actually killing one. They're going to get probably a second, maybe a third of them before the rest of those ASFs are killed off. Another one is dead. Another one is dead. Another one is dead. And all 5 bugs are dead, even underneath the air coverage and the AA here. Team 1 loses the ASFs. They lose their air grid, at least the main one. Does he have a backup? He has a tiny backup. Not great. Now it's just a land thing that Team 2 has to deal with. Granted, not a great way as well. Tickle cannons, bricks. There was a SACU in there. Those are going to be targeted immediately. Spy planes over top to get a readout what's going on. They're going to find it. With that amount of spy planes, they're going to find it. And yep, they will. But it's a lot of shielding, building crabs as we speak. Colossi might be beelining for it. Nope, we're going to deal with the units first. Another Colossus is down. 3 remain. going to be a war of attrition kind of thing. Can Team 2 keep Team 1 out? Team 1 being Spectral Slave. The Scathis has now dealt with the air grid in its entirety. 1 SMD remains. That's not anything really worrisome at this point. Team 2 doesn't have a nuke. So, yeah. Nice to have, but eh. Hybrid 2001 says Scathis here. See, again, the problem is the Spectral Slave have a lot of power. Okay, well, never mind. I was going to say, does he have a lot of power? And I was incorrect. I thought he didn't have a lot of power. I didn't notice the line of pigeons that might just go up in flames. Scathis now targeting onto Spectral Slave's position. 49 minutes on the clock here. The shields are going to actually buckle considerably. And that bug is being hit by a little bit of splash damage from those watering can guns that are the Scathis. Main base here for Grazi is under threat. Those Colossi going west instead of east, probably ignoring everything over here that's being built to defend said Scathis. But the artillery from Team 2 breaks through the shielding, takes out pretty much all of the emitters. Actually, there's no emitters really left nearby. Spectral Slave, of course, does have his shield heavy upgrade. Artillery going to land in, target the monkey there. He's going to move. There it comes. There's a nice little pigeon that goes down. And there goes another pigeon. A couple of mass fabs as well. How's your eco now? Still doing perfectly fine for power, but in terms of mass, Team 2 at 2,000, Team 1 1.1. Those Colossi running into some Ravager fire. Granted, pigeon goes down. There goes the end of the Ravagers, but they have to cut through all of this and get to the Scathis, and even then, Team 2 has an artillery piece. They have 1, and a YOLO has been started. Because why not? Because why not have a YOLO? And the comm of Team 1, Spectral Slave, looks like it's actually been targeted directly by Team 2's artillery. And there's actually a bug assisting him move, probably trying to cover him in the air. Get down, Mr. President kind of thing. Scathis. Colossi being bombarded by Team 1 Zeus. He's not using lightning, but using whatever else he can throw at his opponent. T3 Pigeons going down. That's never a fun day. Crab actually coming in here from Brekether, but he's not targeting the Colossi that are right here. But there's a crab here for Team 2 anyways. Was that this one over here? No, it was that one over there. So he saw that as the main threat and decided to just take that out. And Scathis continuing to rein in, just rip apart Spectral Slave's remaining the everything. Unless he has a big ticket item somewhere hiding up his backline or something. It's not, yeah, the T3 Pigeons, that, yeah, I don't think that's going to be built. 51 minutes on the clock here. Team 1, Spectral Slave did such a very, very good job staying in the game. He had a lot of things going for him. That push down south was amazing. Took out 2 players his base. Had he just taken out maybe the remaining main bases, maybe it would have been enough. But he does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Colossi running around. 7, 8. So he has 8 Colossi. Nuke! Please don't. Please. Oh, you're not targeting anything in front of you. Sad. Going after, I think, the comm. The comm. He's going to shift northward. He's going to bypass the nuke. He's going to go around it. He's going to say, nope, see you bye. More Colossi over here. The man, the myth, the legend, Spectral Slave just pumping out experimentals. He's done a very good job of that, but Team 2 went for the game ender. Kaboom. Didn't really take out much besides 2 Monkey Lords and singeing a Soul Ripper ever so briefly. And those artillery, at least the Scathis is still training in, or trained in on Spectral Slave. But I just don't think he has enough. His Colossi are being ripped apart very quickly. YOLO is in the yellow now, but I don't think it's going to finish. 76,000 mass killed with that one. The nuke is down once again for Brekether. He just cannot catch a break with that thing. And Brekether actually goes... No. He was targeted by the Colossi, but looks like the target priorities changed. Brekether is still alive somehow. He's not dead. Idle says Steel Force. Yep, there's a couple of experimentals idle there. Brekether could actually go down here. Another overcharge takes out a chunk of those Colossi. Hell, he's still not being targeted. What is going on? Yeah, I was going to say, do they not see him? One Colossus goes down. Yeah, he's in view, and the Colossus just not going after... Oh, there he goes. No? Battlefront's like, why? Yeah, that's my question here. I mean, yeah, you're probably not going to win the game, but you might as well get another kill before you die kind of thing. T1 bombers overhead, and might be a war of attrition kind of thing. His shield is depleted, and there he goes. Team 1, last remaining player of Spectral Slave, dies to a bunch of Team 1 bombers and T4 artillery. Guile cast, says Kazi. I mean, maybe he'll cast it, I don't know, but I did, so that's something. It's just, he does drop into the low numbers there in terms of total hit points. Colossus completely ignores him. Bug is overhead. I don't know if he wanted a bug kill or whatever, but yeah, I don't know why he just didn't die by Colossi lasers. Anyway, Team 2 wins the game. MVPs for me. Honestly think Krazy building that game ender was probably the thing that won Team 2 the game. Granted, there was so much reclaim still on the map. Almost 1,890,000 mass and reclaim on the field. That is so much, and most of it on Team 2's side of the map. Because the Colossus took out the air grid, knocked down a lot of the air power, knocked out the shield grid, kept Spectral Slave moving, and he was forced to engage, essentially. One, T3 artillery was nothing, especially because he also has, you know, his Colossus running down here. And that would have wiped out everything down here, and then would have just shifted, essentially, west to east. So, yeah, that game ender, that was the thing that won Team 2 the game, I think, out of everything. Granted, lots of experimentals built. Nukes were nice, that sort of thing, but I think it was the game ender for Krazy. But let me know down in the comments if you agree or not. Of course, if you have not done so already, because why not? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification when I do release content, which is usually every day at the same time. But there are days where I release other content at different times. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And of course, if you have a replay that you want me to look at, please send it to me in the email down below and on my YouTube page. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.